How are you? Good morning, Shelly. How are you? Hopefully you're traveling safe. Are you already on the road? I meant to ask this morning. Are you already on the road? Let me just get myself ready here this morning. Let me know. Oh, I forgot my mouse today. I had a little mouse yesterday that made it easier for me. And I forgot it today. Good morning. Good morning. That's my art. How are you? Let me just get myself together this morning. How's everybody doing today? Anybody expecting the snowmageddon? Good morning, Cece. How are you? Good morning, good morning, good morning. No snow? Listen, they said it's gonna start here around, good morning, Nisi. It's gonna start here around 12 o'clock or so, and it's gonna be bad until maybe tomorrow sometime. Good morning and good night. Whatever, brother. Good morning. How are you? Good morning. How are you? Only rain until late this evening. Lucky you. We're gonna start to get snow, and I'm really hoping that it doesn't snow because I have a mani-pedi appointment today. So I got some self-care that I'm supposed to have happen. Brother, you should not be wishing for snow, especially with you about to fly. Trust me, you don't want that up here. That should be the last thing that you are wishing for. Let me turn it to my live chat. That should be the last. The temp went from 70 to 40 today. Yeah, the temperature and the weatherman and none of them know what they're doing. I hate it. Anybody have breakfast this morning? My breakfast again is coffee. So we got coffee for breakfast this morning. Good morning, Jamia. How are you? My condolences. So, brother, good morning, the Nichols. 46 over here. 46 is pretty cold for you. 46 is pretty cold for you. So here's the thing about snow. Here's the thing about snow. Um, Even if it stops on Tuesday, they still need time to clear it. So thank you. I'm not good. I understand it completely. Well, hopefully I can brighten your day. Yes, your plant babies are outside. I had taken some of my plant babies outside, and because of the snow, I brought them in because when I looked at the weather for Monday and Tuesday, it was going to be in the teens again. And I don't think that even if I had put them outside, um, they would have been okay under the weather. Alaska style, welcome in. How are you? We don't have any snow yet. Give me 1 second. Let me just do something. Put my do not disturb back on so I'm not interrupted today. Shelly, you got your seeds. Shelly, my brother's asking, did you get your seeds? So 48 here, 70. Yeah, it was nice yesterday. So I was kind of busy yesterday after the stream, so I didn't get to do some things um, yesterday after the stream. So I'm going to do a little bit today before we get into the topic and the topic is um, pest control a little. We're going to do -20 there, 4 feet of snow. Goodness gracious. That's a lot. That is a lot. So, wow, I would never want to live in that. So, let me see. Remember, so we've been talking about a few things for the past couple weeks. Number one, we've been talking. There is a skunk running around the neighborhood, y'all. Good morning, Big Bama. I've seen him in the backyard of the neighbor's house earlier, and I just saw him jet through my other neighbor's backyard. And I was wondering yesterday when I got home, there it kind of smelled a little bit, and it's because there's a skunk running around. I forgot to hit the like button. Yes, everybody, hit that like button on your way in. Hit that like button on your way in. Okay, cool. Delivered Friday. 67 here, high of 81. That's nice, Jania. At least you have some pretty decent weather. At least you have some pretty decent weather. So, yeah, there's a skunk over there. Okay. So, yesterday we were talking about um cold stratification, and I said I was going to do my seeds and I didn't. So, in my seed tray, I had planted out some lavender, right? And it never sprouted. So, I'm going to try the lavender. I have some plastic bags here today that I'm going to use. I'm going to try to do the lavender and also try to do some spinach today if I have time. But we've been in here saying our hellos for about 5 minutes. So let me just get with the ground rules. Number one, please be respectful of both me and everybody in the chat. Number two, for everybody that's in here, hit that like button on your way in. So we're 10 for 10 this morning. So I think everyone's doing great. Good morning to everybody. We're doing pretty good with the likes this morning. So I appreciate you. And I appreciate everybody for joining this morning. Number three, this is a PG-13 stream. So if you have all the other stuff to say, keep it to yourself. Enjoy it in your own mind. Number four, a lot of people asking before anybody gets to asking. No, I do not grow cannabis. Okay. And number five, please do ask questions and be as interactive as possible. I enjoy it, the chat enjoys it, and I enjoy it to seeing you guys interact with each other. So yeah, let us all get it together this morning. I'm gonna get it together. I'm running a little late because I was thinking of all the things that I had to do this morning and yesterday. Um, so yeah, I'm just doing it all. So everybody, Jamie is in the chat. Sent her some words of comfort. She did lose her mom this week, so words of comfort to you, Jamie. Completely feel for you there, and we're all thinking about you. So for those of you watching the replay, make sure you leave some comments, make sure you thumbs up the stream, and do all of that. Today, we're going to be talking about myth busting stuff for pest control. And we're going to be pretty high level this morning because not only do I want to have like a little topic this morning, but I also want to do some things with the hydroponics and the plants. Um, PSA again, there will be no stream next weekend. I'm going on vacation. Hopefully, the weather holds out so we can get on this good plane and I can get some sun and enjoy myself. So, yeah, there will be no stream next week, but that means I need to do some things on the inside this week. So, yeah, let's get with all of that. Okay. Right. Thank you. Everybody sending their positive energy to Jamia. Thank you everybody for doing that. Okay. Um, yeah. So speaking of pests, let me see, where is my tripod? So let me show you something that I had done. We're going to start a little bit different this morning before we start with the topic. So let me switch you around. These are the cabbages that have been outside for the past couple of days. They look amazing. They've been getting natural rain. They have been getting the cool, all of that. But with the snow, I don't really want the snow to really drop on them yet. I don't think they could withstand it, right? So these are the cabbages. If you go in a little bit closer, you can kind of see that they might head pretty sooner or later. So I'm hoping that before I leave, I can get them completely outside. But like I said, for the next couple days, I don't want them outside. I don't want them under the snow and I don't want them in the teens temperature yet. So for me, I'm kind of babying those cabbages a bit, simply because I want them to survive. So, something that a lot of people don't realize is these cabbages were grown in the hydroponic system. I started them as seeds and they were in the hydroponic system. So I'm taking extra good care of them. They had an established root system, and that is why hydroponics is a cheat code, right? So they're gorgeous and I want them to live until I can get them outside under the frost covers. I think after this last snow, Hopefully I'm able to get them under the frost covers before I leave, and they're just going to be inside for a couple days, right? Inside for a couple days. So what I want to do is I'm going to show you guys something. Let me get my tripod so I can maneuver a little bit better this morning. So over here, you notice that I normally have them by the window there. And the reason why I have them by the window is because on the inside, I want them to get the best light possible. So the way the sun comes to my house is it comes up over on that side where I'm going to put them and it goes over. So I usually have all the plants up against the window or that area. I have cardboard up underneath. So I'm an open and honest person. I will always admit when I make a mistake. So you guys also know that I have a fungus gnat issue. And when I was watering the plants, I got the cardboard kind of wet. So I want to flip the cardboard over and sit them over there so that they're not infested with fungus gnats. I think it's going to take it a little bit longer. It's going to take it a little bit longer to soak through to the other side. And if it does, oh well, like I said, it's only going to be a couple of days. So let me transition you guys to the tripod and my other gimbal, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Let's see. Matter of fact, I should probably turn the other gimbal on first. So yeah, any questions so far about what I'm doing? Because I'm essentially just going to move. Good morning, Miss Cheryl in the bushes. Everybody have an awesome day. You have an awesome day too. Have an awesome day on purpose. All right. So let me just get you guys here. Okay. So let me just show you guys, bring you over here. Got to kick my seed boxes over a little bit, give myself some room. So I will show you guys what it kind of looks like over here. Let me switch the camera view. So if you look down, there we go. See how I kind of got it wet a little bit? So with me getting it wet is causing the fungus gnats to come in. So I'm going to remove all of this stuff and just simply flip the cardboard over really quickly to make sure I don't have any issues. And I also have the fungus gnat like traps. You see the little sticky traps that I have in here. So let me move all the water that I have for the hydroponics out of the way, because I have many, many bottles of hydroponics, for the hydroponics at least. And for now, I can move this tray up here and hope that I don't drop anything. Oh, that's not going to fit. The plants are too big. And these plants also were grown in the hydroponic system. Did it grab onto them? Okay, maybe all right. So let me just move this out of the way. More water bottles here. And I'm just simply going to flip it over for now. And it's still kind of wet on the bottom, but at least I don't have stuff crawling, which is kind of what I wanted. So let me grab this one, put it back. And I bottom watered these yesterday, so I don't really need the tray any longer. And this is the basil that I had up there. So basil here. And now I can essentially put everything up there. Good morning, Miss J.K. Gardner. Now I can essentially put these over there and not have to really deal with the gnats as much. All right. So one little task done for the day. Like I said, these cabbages will stay inside only about 2 days or so. So that is what we're going to do. So Switch you back around. All right, so one thing done for the day. The other thing I'm going to do a little later is you might have noticed, or you might not have noticed, that I bought some um, new 1020 trays, and they're a bit sturdier. Mines were breaking down. Good morning, Dave. How are you? Have you ever grown corn? Yes, I have. Okay, so let me switch you back over here. All right, we're back. What fertilizer did I use? I don't remember. Turn this back off. But I'm pretty sure whatever it was something high in nitrogen, because so the fertilizer for corn, it was whatever it was something high in nitrogen because corn is a heavy feeder. So whatever you pick something high in nitrogen. Good morning, Patty. How are you? Checking in before church. I appreciate you checking in before church. So yeah. So let me go in and we will talk about, anybody have any questions about the plants that were grown in hydroponic that I bought back in and why I bought them in? I think I was pretty transparent about why they're in. We're going to do some harvesting of some more lettuce today. Gray 1582, hello, how are you? Um, so yeah, we're going to do more things today. So we're going to take things out of one hydroponic system and another one. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'm gonna pretty much wing it a little bit. Um, so we will see today. We're gonna go through the topic. I might take a pause. I might do this. Also, here's my other question. Other than sterilizing soil, has anybody ever baked your soil in the oven? If you have, put a one in the chat. If you baked your soil in the oven. Oh, good morning, Kanisha. How are you? Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? And I don't think I gave you guys a poll today either. So let me do that as well. Because y'all know I love the polls. Let's see. You baked. All right. Renee Williams, being that you have baked soil, what temperature did you bake it at? What temperature did you bake it at? Because I tried baking some soil last night and it didn't do quite what I wanted it to do. And so I'm going to bake it again today and then do some things with it. Don't say anything, Shelly. 350 degrees for an hour. That actually makes a lot of sense. When you baked it, did it dry all the way out? You're still curious about no soil in the oven? I thought that too. That's my art. I never thought I would do it, but poor microorganisms. What do you mean by that, CC? You're gonna have to tell me this morning because I'm asking for a little bit of help. I need some help. I'm just going to use neem meal. Neem meal, what is that? I might have to Google that. Neem meal. Also, baking the soil. One in the oven, microwave on the grill. Okay. Also, I think I forgot to say this in the introductions. If you're new here, feel free to subscribe. Um, what is neem? Baking the soil for microorganisms. But um, let me ask you this, right? Even if you bake it, right, and you put and you get rid of like all the good microorganisms and stuff, can't you just refresh the soil and like add nutrients back to it? I covered it with foil and you did not dry it out all the way. Without the foil, the smell is quite overwhelming. I didn't smell anything last night when I tried it. Hmm, that's so we'll see. We'll see. Yes, you've heard of, after the product. Is it after? I don't know. I'll look it up in a few. So, like, I feel like even if I bake it and I get rid of like the beneficial stuff, I could just replace it, right? Good morning, JC Calamity. Jane, you can't bring them all back. Okay. So which ones am I getting rid of? I'll tell you why I'm asking. Before, when I poured boiling water in the soil, it took, I want to say, 2 or 3 weeks, because I don't have drainage holes, for it to kind of like dry out, because I didn't want to put like soggy soaking soil back into the green stalk. So I don't really want to do that again because it took too long. I'm patient, but I'm not that patient. Neem meal or neem seed meal cake is an organic, nutrient-rich soil amendment derived from crushed seeds of the Indian neem tree after oil extraction. Thank you, That's My Art, for looking that up for me. That's interesting. Poll answer. Raccoons? Raccoons, Max? Oh, snap. Okay. Okay. So a lot of you are bothered by, so I am bothered by several things. Good morning, Ty. How are you? Ty, I meant to tell you, I put your stuff in the mail yesterday. Last week was a busy week, so I didn't get a chance to get to it, but yesterday I did. Um, you just refreshed the bake soil with an all-purpose fertilizer, compost, and worm castings. Okay, we use neem oil in your pest DIY mix. Gotcha, gotcha. So today I'm gonna just, because I don't know about anybody else, but I'm annoyed by pests, and I get like super annoyed because I just feel like they won't let me be great. And the pests that I'm currently dealing with, I'm not really gonna go into too detailed today. Um, you heard it from a farmer that you follow. Thanks, That's My Art. I just was about to post that. It also helps with pests inside soil. Okay, thank you. Why are we baking the soil? I'm baking the soil because I have a fungus gnat infestation and I want it to go away ASAP, because I want to plant in the green stalks, the herbs and stuff. I want to plant it on the inside. Um, and I don't really want fungus gnats in it. So that's why I'm baking the soil as opposed to putting the boiling water on it, because the boiling water took too long and I'm not that patient. And in my head, I think I could hear how you said that, say Cece. All right. So, let me look at this poll. Most of us are plagued by aphids, slugs, and okay, and then the second is slugs and snails, and then other people said something else, and then I know that JC put that raccoons. And if you picked something else, what else is plaguing you in your garden? And so for the caterpillar one, that also includes what boiling water took too long? Not boiling the water itself, putting it in the soil and having it not like mud. You don't bake your soil, but sometimes you use hydrogen peroxide. I tried hydrogen peroxide. I tried the mosquito bits soaked in water. I just tried regular mosquito bits in the soil. I tried a little bit of everything and it just did not work, right? So it did not work. So, yeah, that's what helped me come up with the topic of today about garden pests. Like I said, we're not going to specifically talk about, and the pests we're going to talk about are more insect-ish. We're not really going to talk about the animals today so much. So, squirrels, I also have a squirrel problem. And I have noticed that in the wintertime, they get like super, super fat. Like I've been seeing these squirrels run across the gate and they are different size um than what I saw like in the spring or summertime. So whatever they're eating during hibernation is crazy. Sprinkling cinnamon also helps with gnats. Me too, me too. So That's My Art said, me too. Squirrels are your number one. Yeah. So I think I had posted it or I said it in a video. Someone, I think it was I don't remember her name, but she had told me in my stream one time that I should just put down when I especially when I plant seeds, put down chicken wire over where I'm planting the seeds, and that'll keep the squirrels from digging. Am I going to talk about the assassination bug? No, CC. People got to wait for that. They got to wait their turn for that. Um, we when people hear it, we'll come back and talk about it on a stream following. Squirrels, groundhogs, but they both hate hot peppers. So, I have hot pepper. I'm making hot pepper dust for them. Let me see if I have it on this table anywhere. So, I have been doing this sparingly, and y'all know that I grow a lot of hot peppers, right? Delightful Roots Farm, good morning. So, I have been grinding up hot pepper. I know this is not a lot, but it takes a lot for me to grind up the hot peppers that I have because they are so hot that they pretty much make my nose run. I'm in here coughing and sneezing. It happened to me on stream once when I was doing. I'm actually gonna try it again today, so we'll see. Good morning, Tia. Drump. Good morning. How are you? So this is some hot peppers that I ground up. I'm gonna grind up some more. Matter of fact, before we get into, you know what? Let's get into it, and then we're gonna do a few more. I suffered last night getting these seeds out of the peppers, y'all. So we're going to do this one. This one is habanero. We're going to do the seed test on a little bit later. And then also, I have ghost peppers that I'm going to do the seed test on. And then eventually, I'm going to do more and more and more and more. Okay. Um, that's the main reason you're growing hot peppers is for pests. You lighten their tails up this year. That's the spirit. We don't like pests digging our. You know, it would be different if the rodents and the squirrels and the groundhogs, like, I just don't like it when they dig and they completely damage the plants. So like I get it. We're planting in their atmosphere. This is outside is theirs. What I don't like is when they start damaging the plants and like ripping them down. Like I don't like it. So Gray is saying I do hot pepper dust, but it also makes a you also make a tea and spray it around and it helps greatly. Yes. So I think I'm going to try that this year as well. If I can get this to be a little bit finer, because I do have some chunks in there, I think I'll be able to do it. But a couple things. All right. So let's see. I'm going to end this poll really quick. In the poll just to see. I think majority of you guys took the poll. So yeah, aphids, slug and snails, something else, caterpillars. We're going to talk about some of the things that were in the poll this morning. Um, Something dug up a Scotch bonnet plant last year. It dug up the whole plant. That's insane. That is insane, right? So let's take a closer look at the different pests, right? Closer look at the different pests. So the aphids, green fly, black fly. I actually have some pictures here this morning I'm going to show you guys. So we all know what aphids look like. Aphids come in two, I've noticed them in two different ways. So we look here, these are the green aphids. Let's see if you can see that. So the green aphids here, I hate them. They come on our flowers. And then for those that aren't really paying attention, they also have like the black aphids, right? And both are they're very damaging. They suck the life out of your plants, right? And no one wants these plants. So the green ones, and then there's the black ones. So they sit and wait until we walk away and then dig up everything, then run off to see me coming back. I was blaming everything but the squirrel. You love LOL, you love my photos. I'm making you itch. I'm so sorry. Well, you should just get ready because we're gonna have quite a few photos this morning, okay? Quite a few photos this morning. So sorry if I'm making you itch. It is not intentional, okay? So I'm making her itch, she says. So aphids, right? Let's go to it. They're like tiny pear-shaped insects in clusters on new growth stems under leaves, causing yellowing, curled leaves, and stunted growth. We don't like aphids at all. I don't know one person on this earth that likes aphids. Not one. Not one. So that is the aphid. Um, so what they do is they suck up sap and then excrete a sticky mildew which attracts ants who farm them, creating sooty mold. So the aphids are essentially attracting all the ants. So when you see all your ants on there, it's pretty much almost over for you at that point. So there are a couple things, and we're going to talk about the things to get rid of the aphids. There are so many different methods to use. We've been talking about it a lot in the past streams. So some aphid species are born already pregnant. This is a fun fact, right? Allowing their population to explode in a matter of days. This is why we got to get to them early, right? So if they're already pregnant when they hatch, and then they're going to just make more and more and more, we got to get rid of them, right? So here's the thing, a single ladybug can eat up to 5,000 aphids in its lifetime. So you know what? We like the ladybugs. So if you see ladybugs in your garden, tell it thank you, okay? Because it's out there munching up all these aphids, right? So that was like a fun fact that a lot of people don't realize. If you knew that about ladybugs, tell me. Tell me if you knew that about ladybugs because I did not know that, okay? Did not know that about ladybugs. So some people buy ladybugs and put them in their garden. I've never tried that, right? I've never tried it. Already pregnant when they hatch is diabolical, says Shelly. That is right. Garlic onion spray helped you with your aphids last year. You had way less pressure than any other year. I sprayed everything every few days, like a prevention before treatment. There you go. Yes, you knew that. Okay. Yes, ladybugs are amazing. The Nichols did not know that. Hey, that's why we're here. We're here to learn all of it. Patty, you knew it. Guess what? I didn't know it. So, hey, I'm glad that I was able to help somebody this morning. Okay. So we also plant garlic and onions near tomatoes and brassica plants. Okay. Good morning, Tamiko. How are you? Oh, Grace says, yes, I knew. Love ladybugs. They always appear for you just on time. There you go. So something that plagues me a lot, are slugs and snails. More slugs than snails. I'm doing great this morning, Tamiko. So we're gonna go here. Got some more pictures for you guys. Look away if you think it's gonna make you itchy. I'm telling you now. Look away. You teach that symbolic relationships in school, and you notice that the pole beans seem to bring ladybugs at least when they're on the East Coast. Okay, okay. So slugs and snails, most active at night, or in damp weather, look for large irregular holes in leaves, and they leave shiny trails. So I know I've seen the shiny trails, and that's how I know that I have slugs and snails, right? So they're devastating to seedlings. They love seedlings, hostas, and leafy greens. So the slugs this year, they were pretty much eating up my mustards that I had outside. And so when I saw like that shiny trail, I knew exactly what was messing with my plants. They use their rasping mouth part called a radula to chew the plants. So here we go. Here's a slug here. I did a close up of it, very slimy, eating on a plant. We don't like them, right? So we have a slug here, and then we have the snails that have like the little, I call it the little house on its back. These plants will eat up some greens, okay? In my experience, they eat it up good. So there's a few different things to get rid of them. Here's a myth buster. Here, and how many of y'all have tried the beer technique, right? A bowl of beer will and like it will attract the slugs and drown them. But so many other things like grapefruit rinds or a simple damp board will also um trap them. So the myth is only that beer traps work. That's not true. There are other things, grapefruit rinds, damp boards. So the trap works, just it's not the only thing. The nickel says you're already seeing the shiny trail. we're going to talk about how to get rid of them. You use beer every year. I use it too. So I'm not going to sit here and fake the funk with you guys. I use beer traps, but yeah, Rose, you got a membership yesterday. You got a free membership yesterday. I think I might have gifted you a free membership. Eggshells as well. Yes, I also use eggshells. So I'll show you guys, and I don't grind them up completely to their like dust. I'll show you. So eggshells are good for more than just um, putting in your soil for nutrients. I actually put my eggshells on top of my soil, and I save my eggshells when I make eggs in the kitchen for different things. But I've been saving eggshells for quite some time, and yeah, I'm doing a lot of things, right? So I save my eggshells, and when I first plant my seedlings, I kind of sprinkle eggshells all around so the ground will look kind of white because the slugs don't like crawling against the eggshells. Um it's too prickly for them, right? Thank you for the membership. I got more yes, tune into the members only videos. Some people think they're quite humorous, is what I'll say. That's what I've been told about the members only videos. So yeah, Um, so that's about eggshells. Diatomaceous earth. Yes, that is also something. You're also going to try putting eggshells around your plant base this year. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, I put eggshells around my plant base. I put them around the ground, especially when I plant my seedlings, right? So cabbage worms, tomato worms, right? Cabbage worms, tomato worms, hornworms. And I got a picture of both, and I can't stand these little critters. And I know I'm not the only one that doesn't like them. I can't be the only one that doesn't like them. Ty says you think eggshells are smart. I'm glad you think so, because I think it's pretty smart too. I think it's pretty smart too. So the nickels, you said good to know. Are you going to start saving your eggshells in the garden? I think you should. You should start saving your eggshells. I use what do you call them? The rolling pin, or whatever. Some people put them in the blender and crush them up. I just don't crush them up till they're powder. I still want them to have some prickle to it, if that's what you want to call it. So I make sure that my eggshells still have a bit of prickle to it. And yeah. Oh wow. Somebody need to come with the recipe for hornworms. Yes, they do, and they need to come with that recipe immediately. Yes, I'm gonna get these kids start eating up eggs. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, save those eggshells, good for the garden and feeding back your hens. Okay. I don't have any chickens. Y'all know my thing about. So here's the hornworm. I don't know if I have the picture the right way. So we got the hornworm here. You know, they're called the hornworm. They have the little horn up here, and they can demolish a tomato plant. You hear me? Demolish a tomato plant. Hate them. And then sometimes the wasp can get to the hornworms, and so that's something too. Yes, you have been saving them and putting them in your compost, but you can change that. You can still put them in your compost, but also save some just to put out in the garden themselves. And then we have the cabbage worms. I hate these because they will eat up your cabbage, and sometimes they're hard to see. And this is the cabbage worm, right? We talked about the cabbage worm and the caterpillar in another live stream about what they look like and how to get rid of them. So yeah, ducks for slugs. Here in Poland, we don't have hornworms. Where you're very lucky, Chris. You're very, very lucky that you don't have them in Poland. Very lucky. So far we've talked about the aphids. We've talked about the slugs. We've talked about the cabbage worms. And we've talked about the hornworms. That's right, Todd. Those little worms are nasty, right? So they eat a lot and they can defoliate a plant. I mean, they will eat all the leaves, and the hornworms will even go for your tomatoes, I found. So look for chewed leaves and visible droppings. So you see the little green and little black droppings, more than likely, 9 times out of 10, you got hornworms in your garden and nobody likes that, right? We want our stuff to eat and things eat them up. Use a black light at night to find the hornworms. I bought one, then misplaced it, then found it again. So you'll use it this year. Good job, Shelly. You never seen cabbage worms? Have That's my art, right? So you say you never seen cabbage worms. Have you ever had like a whole bunch of holes in your leaves? Kind of like has any of your brassicas ever you come out and it kind of looks like cottage cheese? Who going outside at night, Shelly? Cece, apparently she is. She's going outside at night to get those hornworms. She's going outside. That's what I took from that comment. She going outside to do it. Okay. Yeah, Swiss cheese. My bad. Swiss cheese. Cottage cheese, Swiss cheese. If you ever seen your plants, what's the bugs on the squash? Those are the vine squash vine borers. And I know a lot of people in this chat hate those. You rinse yours and put them in old milk carton and then put them outside. You rinse your what? The eggs? You blessed every wasp you saw in the garden. They worked harder than the bees for you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. One stream we're going to talk about the things that we could do. What are the worms that damage the corn? Um, I don't know, but I do know, or I heard in Miss Linda's stream that you put oil when you first start to see the silks, put oil in the top of the corn, and as it goes down, the worms don't like it. Earwigs. Thank you, Cece. So you have never seen your leaves silkworm. Could be. I'm not sure the name of it. Matter of fact, let me write that down. Um, that's my art. You are in the Discord. Worms and corn. I'll look it up. And what I'll do is I'll put it in the Discord. For those of you, matter of fact, I'll do this right now. If you're not in the Discord, right? I found that when we're outside of stream and I answer the question, sometimes I forget to go back and answer the questions. So my means of answering the questions after the live streams is to the leg-footed bugs on your list. It's not. Let me write that. I'll do another stream and we'll talk about more. Um, we're going to talk about more of the insects and bugs. See, I was trying to keep it leaf bug. I was trying to keep it simple today, but I'm probably going to do a part 2 of this. Just to catch, because I want to catch the rodents. I want to catch the bugs that a lot of people may not see. Today is Pest 101, the simple things. I probably should have relabeled it that, right? So we also, here's one. So cabbage worms become common. White butterflies you see. I showed you in another stream what the butterfly looks like. So beautiful, but then they come in and they wreak havoc. Tomato hornworms have amazing camouflage and they can be hard to spot regardless of their large size. Yes, I seen her live. I just couldn't remember the name of it. I'll get back to you in Discord on it, for sure. So fun fact, the cabbage white butterfly is not a native of North America. It was accidentally introduced and now considered a major garden pest. So this garden pest isn't even a native of America and is wreaking havoc on all of us, right? Wreaking havoc on all of us. And then one of the last things I'm going to talk about today, and I have this pest a lot, probably because I grow a lot of peppers because I see these on my peppers a ton. Eggs. Okay. Okay, Tamiko. Eggs. All right. Tamiko, I meant to ask, did you ever get the package that I sent? I tried to send everything that came back. I tried to send it back in one package. Just want to make sure you got it. All right, so the last one plagues me a lot, and it is spider mites. So inside of my garden enclosure, when I'm growing a lot of the peppers, I always have a spider mite issue. So they thrive in hot, dry conditions. They're tiny, hard to see, but you notice fine webbing on plants and stippled leaves. So tiny yellow and white dots on your leaves. Um, they're technically arachnids, not insects. And single strong jet of water can surprisingly be effective in dislodging them. So let me just show you. So this is a close up of the spider mite. Look away if you're going to get itchy. So this is a close up of the spider mite. And then I tried to get a close up of the web that um, that it has as well. So this is the little web. You can see it like in here, the web that it produces. So yeah, you've never had spider mites? You're lucky, Cece, because I've had them. But like I said, you just take your water hose and you pretty much blast them out, and that could be beneficial for you. You make fake cabbage moths to scare the real ones away. They're territorial and don't like going anywhere where they might have competition. What do you mean you make fake ones, Kanisha? Like out of like paper and you put them out there? Like what do you mean by that? Yeah, I'm curious about that. How do you make fake spider mites? Yes, it's me. Good morning. Yes, it's me. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Yeah, I was kind of waiting to see too. Waiting to see what you all do. So now I'm going to go into a couple things. The best offense is a good defense. So the best offense is a good defense. And what I mean by that is taking preventative measures to make sure that these pests don't come into your garden. So preventative measures, healthy soil, healthy plants. So I've heard plenty of people say this. I'm going to reiterate it. We're not feeding the plants to make them healthy. We're feeding the soil because the plants are in the soil and that's what makes them healthy. So a good offense, the best offense is a defense. And so number one, you want to have a resilient ecosystem for them. And you're going to start out by having healthy soil. So healthy soil equals healthy plants. Okay, you with me? Everybody get it? So you cut the shapes out and mark them with marker on with the black dot and glue it to a stick and stick them in the soil. Huh, I might try that. This is gonna be an art lesson with me and baby girl. We're gonna make some fake butterflies and put them on some sticks and put them in the garden. Okay? I'm not even gonna lie, I'm gonna try it. You wanna try the decoy cabbage moths this year yourself? I'm using number two plastic from your yogurt containers and you hope it holds up. There are YouTube videos about it too. I'm gonna have to go research it because I have never heard of that. Shelly, are you gonna try it? Cece, you ever tried that before? Anybody in here other than Kanisha tried that before? This so I said, did someone say crafts? Yeah, we gonna put some fake butterflies out there. That's what we gonna do. Fake butterflies. That's what we gonna do. Okay. So you can have too much of a good thing. While compost is great, adding too much over 8% of the soil volume can create nutrient imbalances and raise salt levels, harming your plants. So just be careful when you're adding nutrients. I don't test my soil levels. I don't test the pH, so I can't really provide guidance on that. I actually might try it this year just for kicks and giggles. Um, but yeah, smart watering, water the soil, not the leaves in the morning, prevents fungal diseases that weaken the plant. So when you guys water your plants, right? Tell me, do you just go in there and spray or do you water the bottom, right? So what I do is I do what I call like the 10-second rule, kind of sort of, or I sing a song when I'm watering because I'm a deep waterer. So I don't spray the leaves at all. That's also part of the reason why with my seedlings I bottom water. I go in and I sing a song. Matter of fact, I don't know if Cece or Shelly knows this. What's my favorite song to sing in the garden? Cece or Shelly, tell me if you know. Because I know I told one of you what my favorite song was. And I go through my garden singing a song on repeat in my head or out loud. Sometimes I sing it out loud, and I deep water at the bottom. So Shelly or Cece, tell me, I don't even know if I told my brother what my favorite song is when I'm out in the garden. I did tell you. It's a song. Cece, I know I told you it's by Aretha Franklin because you laughed at me when I told you. And if it's a big area, just position a water hose in it and run a quick errand. That's right. Sometimes when I'm working in the garden, I'll put I Love You by Barney. No, I wish. That's your song, not mine. Yeah, sometimes if I'm working in the garden, I'll set my water hose on soaker in different places while I do work. So when I'm out in the garden and I'm just like watering to make sure I'm deep watering, I sing RESPECT, Respect by Aretha Franklin. Cece, I know I told you. You say a little prayer? No. And it's because I need these plants to respect me, okay? All right, they gonna do something right. And then a lot of people, some people don't believe in this, and it really depends. I never told you that. I never told you that. Uh, say something nice. Yeah, I'm saying something nice. We're me and the plants. We having a chat about. See. I knew it was you. But yeah, and so some people, they don't use crop rotations based off of how their yard is structured, and where the sun is, right? So based off of how the yard is and where the sun is structured, they don't do crop. Um, I know I thought the song was Say a Little Prayer. I might start singing that song. I gotta learn that song first. So crop rotation disrupt pest life cycles. So cleaning up debris removes overwintering pots for slugs, snails, and other pests. So move your stuff around. Yeah, I think she does sing that song, Rose. Say a little prayer. I only look it up. But yeah. So crop rotation. Now you want now you want a garden songs? I'll be out there dancing. Get you a garden song because it's gonna help you when you water. If you're singing the song and you don't move to the next section until that song is done, you know that you deep water correctly. And when you deep water, you don't have to water every single day. Good morning, Chasm. How are you? Good morning. So if you deep watering, you don't necessarily have to water every day. Everybody that is coming in a little later than usual, please make sure you don't um forget to hit that like button today. So yeah, make sure you go in, you disrupt the life cycle of the pest, and you rotate your crops. Like I said, some people can't rotate based off of how the sun comes in. So yeah, yeah, half of your yard has good sunlight in the spring and summer, and then in the fall, the other half gets sun. Okay. So yeah, try crop rotation if you can. Not everybody could do that. So let's try it out and see how it is. Freedom is actually her song, I think. Okay. Hey Carol, welcome on in today. Welcome in. Come in and hit the like button for me, please. Nancy, no, you're not late. You're just on time, right? How are you? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody just coming in. So, while companion planning claims that is like an old wives' tale, some are backed by science. It's not a magic bullet, but companion planning does help. Dionne Warwick sings "Say a Little Prayer." Thank you. That's my art. We ain't here talking about songs. You just laid down about 14 feet of cardboard to start your new bed. I'm also geeked that you just created an acre. Oh, good job. Good job. I was hoping Unique would be in here. She's got an amazing new landscape to plan in. So shout out to Unique. I know she's not on, but she's a member of the channel. Matter of fact, mods, if you can go in and start dropping the mods channel in here, please do drop the mods channel because we're at the halfway mark. I think we're at the halfway mark. Yes, we are. Okay. So come on in, hit that like button. We're almost at the halfway mark. Like I said, I do need to do some stuff, so I might speed through some of the rest of this if I can. So yeah. Um, Fun fact: marigolds can deter nematodes. Basil plants near tomatoes can repel tomato hornworms. and nasturtiums are a trap crop for aphids. I think most of us knew that already, right? Fun fact, planting members of the carrot family like dill and fennel and letting them flower attracts beneficial predators like parasitic wasps and ladybugs. So we want the carrots, we want the dill and fennel, and we want the nasturtiums. We want all those things to trap crops, help crops. We want them all, right? So that's something to think about when you start. I don't think you would be singing Natural Woman to the plant. So yeah. Thank you for everybody that are joining the Discord, brother. Can you catch those, please? All right. So, physical barriers. Row covers are fantastic for stopping cabbage moths from laying eggs on your brassicas. So, if you guys are still planting brassicas, I know Cece, you cover your plants because the cabbage moths and everything late, like the cabbage moths, and I think the what is it? The cabbage moths and the vine borers, their butterflies create havoc on your plants. So make sure you cover them. Um, do all marigold types or just French marigolds? French marigolds, especially, but most marigolds will help you in some way or the other. Marigolds have a distinct smell that they put off. We may not can smell it, but they put yeah, French marigolds are the best, but you can plant other marigolds and they will help. I think there's like a African marigold. I don't know the name off the top of my head this morning, but that one too. And then for the slugs, something that I researched and learned, copper tape creates a barrier that gives slugs and snails a slight electrical shock, deterring them from crossing. Hey, Chaz and Chat. Why? Oh, thank you, Tag, for putting us on the big screen today. Thank you very much. So yeah, if you guys have copper tape, put that in your garden. The slugs do not or don't want to cross it. They get like a little electrical shock. So here's what I want to know, and I think most of us do. Do you use I think most of us do. Do you use companion planting? That is the question. So now we're going to talk a little bit about going organic and natural DIY pest control. So I know a lot of us we use the sprays that we make up ourselves, right? So, and then some of us use nature. You cover your plants also, but be careful. Sometimes you can trap the butterfly unintentionally. Correct. Thanks, JK, for saying that. That is correct. So sometimes you can trap them unintentionally. So just be very careful. Watch what you're doing. Be very observant in the garden. I know most of us are, because these plants, at the end of the day, they're our babies, right? I know my brothers in the stream. Sometimes we have to be a little rough with them and give them a little bit of discipline. But at the end of the day, these plants are our babies, and we want them to do really well, so we want to take care of them as best possible. So we're going to harness nature's army here, beneficial insects, right? Plant a variety of flowers to provide nectar and pollen. Hoverflies are amazing. Their larvae eat aphids, consuming 50 a day. Adults look like small bees, but they're actually flies. This year, I intend to try the perma permaculture method, compost, and compost extract, etc. Rich Black Man says, set the tone with your plants early. Okay. All right, CC, this is for you. Assassin bugs are incredible predators that will often kill more pests than they need for food. Is that what you were trying to hear? I wish I had a picture of the assassin bug. I don't. I should next time I'll print it. Maybe I'll put it in the Discord. The assassin bug. So assassin bugs, you want them in your garden. They're incredible predators that often kill more pests than they need food. So the assassin bug. So yeah, we want those bugs. Um, I'll put a message of them in. I'll put a message of them in Discord. We're not whooping plants today, Tag. We talking about these bugs in the garden. And we're talking about setting the tone with our plants so they do what we want them to do. So we not and then as much as people don't want to do it, much as people don't want to do it, I don't really do it often. Simple, effective, and free. Picking the bugs with our hands. So you go out and you pick the slugs and caterpillars off. And then another simple method is you simply take your water hose and you do a good spray to get the bugs off. Now, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I know a lot of people don't want to put pesticides and those type of things in your garden, but one thing that we've mentioned on here already is using neem oil. So I do CC says, I'm not picking hornworms off. So how do you get them off? Like, what do you do if you don't pick them off? If you have hornworms, what do you do if you don't pick them off? I just need to know. Because you can't possibly let them stay. Um, I hope the internet doesn't get me, but I pick them off and I stomp them out. Okay? That's what happens to the hornworms when I see them. I pick them off and I stomp them out. Same with slugs. I pick them off and I stomp them out. That's what I do. They go meet a higher being with tongs, not hand. Well, that's because you don't wear gloves, CC. You don't wear gloves. You cannot pull by hand. You use long tongs. Splat. Exactly, Nancy. Um, it's because you don't wear gloves. So because I'm wearing gloves, I could do it. And to the chickens they go. Yeah, they're a good meal for something, right? So J3 is in saying hello to everybody. You chunk them in the woods. I don't chunk them anywhere. You haven't had hornworms yet. Knock on wood. I'm probably gonna use tongs, even with the gloves on. No, you don't want to feel the movements in your hands. Nope. Wow. I'm surprised at you, Cece. Hey, I'm growing food for my family. Those bugs better not get in your way. There you go. There you go. So, neem oil spray. Let's talk about how the neem oil spray works. Yeah, I don't have woods to chuck them into, so that's why they just go to a higher place. That's what I'll say. They go to slug heaven and all that. You can pick off most by hand, but hornworms get sheared. Yes. Yeah, so we're not whooping plants, but we taking it to these hornworms and bugs out here today. So how the neem oil works, right? So it's not a contact killer, but hormone disruptor. It messes with the pest life cycle. So that is why the neem oil works. So if you have the pure neem oil and not just the spray bottle, which is what I use because I don't want to keep having to buy the spray bottles. That can get kind of expensive, right? So you mix 1 or 2 teaspoons of pure cold pressed neem oil, a half teaspoon of mild soap as emulsifier, and 1/4 of warm water. Shake it well. Spray it in the evening to avoid harming pollinators. So that's something that we need to think about, and to prevent leaf scorch. So if you're going to use neem oil, do it in the evening times because the sun and the neem oil together will burn your leaves. And then the pollinators usually work in the morning. So we don't want to spray them and harm the pollinators either. So, yeah, that is what we're using the neem oil for. Good morning, Chris. How are you? So, insecticidal soap. Kurt Franklin stomp while taking. That's right, Kurt Franklin stomp. So, insecticidal soaps, right? Here's the thing you can't just use any soap. Many contain degreasers and harsh chemicals that will harm your plants. So use pure castile soap or a product specifically formulated for plants. So don't just go out there using any soap. Castile soap is the soap that you use for the insecticidal soap. It works because it dissolves the protective outer light layer of soft-bodied insects like aphids, causing them to dehydrate. So spraying the soap onto the plant where the aphids are is basically helping you decompose the different insects and bugs that are on there. Just in case somebody wasn't aware of why the Castile soap, insecticidal soap works. So that is that. And then I think somebody said earlier, diatomaceous earth, so DE, the white powder that you put on your soap. So it's not a poison. Make sure you get the food grade, okay? It's a fossil remains of diatoms on a microscopic level, right? It's incredibly sharp, so it scratches the exoskeleton of pests like slugs, ants, earwigs, causing them to dry out. That's right, unscented Castile soap. Good morning, Michael. How are you? Brother, say good morning to Michael, okay? So the important tip, it must be dry to work. So don't go out there and put wet, don't like water, then put it out there because I've seen a lot of people do that. And then you also have to reapply it after it rain. And I said earlier, make sure you use food grade DE and wear a mask during application to avoid inhaling the fine dust, right? Nothing works for the squash vine borers. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Okay, so most of us companion plant. There we go. So any if anybody else has any organic methods for getting rid of pests, let's drop it in the chat. Let's hear what everybody is using for their pests. I'm interested to know what other people are doing um in their garden for pests. I'm interested what other people are doing. I often wonder if we harm the beneficial insects that come to eat those bugs. So, Miss JK, that's why it's important if we're going to do any of that spraying, do it in the evening because most of the time your pollinators are up early working in the morning. So, if we're going to do any of that stuff, do it in the evening time. So, that's the key to that. You use cinnamon and cayenne pepper. Okay. What else are we using? Basil in between everything. Okay, we did talk about the companion planning. Okay. What else do we got in here today? Who else is using stuff? So we got basil, cinnamon, cayenne pepper. What else are you? I'm using marigolds. Okay, so that's my art says she uses a little bit of everything. So you're using a little bit of everything. Okay. Ty says you heard garlic and onions earlier. So yeah, some people do garlic and onions. They plant them. So a lot of companion planting is what I'm hearing this morning. So you're doing the companion planting, which is great. A lot of people don't believe in companion planting just because they want to plant things where they want to plant them. Basil and onions plus rosemary. You also use marigolds, garlic water, neem oil. So all solutions. I think we're all pretty much researching and using all different types of solutions, right? So yeah, put a new poll up. What's your go-to method for pest solution? Like the very first thing you think of. I use cinnamon spray with a drop of canola oil and Castile soap. You haven't found anything for them squash vine borers. You know what, Cece? That might be something that I do a little bit of research on to see if I can figure it out. And a good a good explain that. A good vacuum cleaner. You take your vacuum cleaner outside. So I did hear, and I think it might have been GT Junior that was talking about it. He puts tape on his around his hands, and sometimes he goes through and he gets the aphids off with tape. So or he puts it on a pencil or something. So hello everyone coming in. Make sure you come in, subscribe, hit the thumbs up. So tape. So yeah, aluminum around the base of squash works for the borers. Have you tried that, Tamiko? Have you tried the aluminum? You do that with the tape as well. Okay. So you get the aphids off with tape. Everything you mentioned, Shelly says Corey, slug, and snail. So yeah, I use Sluggo, and I just started using Corey's when David Corey mentioned it in my stream one day. So I also use the Corey's now as well. I'm trying to figure out which one is better. I think they both pretty much use the same, but they're just different brands of it. So yeah, that's what I've been using. Let's see, let me set another goal this morning. See if we can hit this goal. See if we can give some stuff away this morning or something. I don't know if we'll do a giveaway today, but we will see. We hit a couple goals, I might. Never know. All right. So everybody's Sluggo has been working for me. Yeah, I use Sluggo. Anybody? So here's the thing, Ty. It's so funny that you say that, right? She says, anybody use 7, right? I do use 7, but I use it when I have exhausted all the other possibilities. I typically don't like to use 7 dust, but I will do it if I'm desperate. So a lot of people, they come down on people, and here's what I'll say about that. You got to do what works for you. Just know that if you use the 7, don't harvest and eat that food right away. Rich Black Man said, I sit by my hydro with the belt in hand and all the pests are scared. If that's what works for you. You haven't heard of 7, push come to shove, you will. Yeah, I use 7 dust, okay? Guilty. You bought some, but you were scared to use it. So here's why I'm not scared to use it, right? People have been using 7 dust for a really long time. My grandmother uses 7 dust. I called her one time and I was like, I don't know what to do. And you know what the first thing she says? She goes, I know you're not calling me. I know you went and bought you some 7 dust. And all I said was enough said. I went and bought it. And guess what? I used it and it does work. And like I said, as a last resort is when I use it. When I get tired of hunting down these things, but I will say that it does harm the beneficial insects. So when I use it is in the evening time. I don't use it when the bees and everything are out there pollinating and doing their things. So, unpopular opinion, yes, I use it. Who said they never heard of 7? I'll show you what it looks like. Yes, the old remedies do work. I think I have some somewhere. Here we go. So, I have a few things here that I will show you guys. We're going to do a little bit of show and tell this morning. So I'll bring out the different things that I have, right? And I'll show you what I have so far because I have a few things that I use. All right. This is just a few, right? So just a few. So yeah, I am not sponsored by any of these products. What I may do is go in and put links after the stream is over. I'll tag some of the products. If you use the link, I can get a commission from it. But here's what I'll do. So we talked about the cold pressed neem oil where you only add a couple teaspoons to some water. I have the neem oil. I don't buy the spray bottles, right? So have the neem oil. I don't buy the spray bottles, right? So this is the neem oil that I use. And like I said, after the stream, I'll go in and tag them. If you use the links, then like I said, I can get a commission from it. I also use Monterey's BT. So this is an old bottle, right? Neem oil can create pathogens. Yeah, can. That's why I said everyone has to make a decision for them. I have not used 7 yet, but if I can get an infestation, I will use it in the evenings. My sister told you about it. There you go. Jackie Cooper, good morning. So Monterey's BT, like I say, I don't go buy the single spray bottles because depending on how many plants you have, it can get expensive. Just put it in a spray bottle. Make sure you follow the instructions on the bottle. Okay. So that is the Monterey's BT. The Monterey's BT is used for the cabbage worm, right? The neem oil is used for the spider mites, it's used for the aphids, all those things, right? We talked about slug stuff. So I think I used all my sluggo, right? So I use all the Sluggo, but I do have the Corys here. I use this for slugs as well as Sluggo. So it's interchangeably, it's just whatever I have on hand, right? So then there's that. And then, like I said, a very, very last resort. So it kills all different types of things. And this is that. On the back, it gives you all the instructions for it. So this is the 7 that I use. And you can get it from any box store. You can actually get all of this stuff from the big box stores. You can get it from Amazon. So, like I said, you have to do what's best for you. Jackie Cooper. Uh, okay. Yeah, 7 dust will unalive everything. You are 100% correct. Correct. Um, Thank you, Cece. So yeah, those are some things that I use, and I'm gonna repeat myself. This is not an advertisement. I don't get paid to advertise any of that stuff. I'm just showing you what I use and what works for me. Lately, I've been trying the different soap things. Some of it works and some of it doesn't. Even with for the fungus gnats, I've been using the mosquito bits. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So you have to do what is best for you, right? Gotta do what's best for you, right? So okay, we talked about DE and all that. So let's go through some. Yes, that's my art. 7 will kill everything. Okay, it will. So like so I said, you got to pick and choose what you use, and that's why it's a last resort for me. Okay, so let's just think about that whenever we do it and call it a day, right? So, all right, understanding pesticides, right? So some organic approved pesticides like um, Perithian, derived from chrysanthemums, are broad spectrum and can harm beneficial insects like synthetic ones. Um, so think about that. If you buy stuff, the look at the labels at what's in it and do your research before you use it. Also, if you have a pest problem, ask somebody what they're doing because 9 times out of 10, you're not the only one that has that pest problem. And the garden community is fairly large, so we can go in and ask anything. Your garden, you got to do what's best for you. Exactly, that's my art. And I repeat that all the time. Nobody's perfect, and we got to do what works best for us. And we all live in these different zones and microclimates. And your bugs are not my bugs. Your bugs are different. I mean, everybody has different problems that are big and small, right? So, yeah, safety first. Always follow the label. Wear protective gear. Spray in the late evenings is what I would tell people. Things like that, right? So, just some takeaways from today. Let's see what you guys said. What are you guys using? It looks like the majority of everybody use neem oil, which is great because I also use neem oil. Like I said, I use a variety of things for different reasons. Um, Anybody have any other pest control questions that I could possibly look up for you guys later? Let me know in the chat. Um, Prevention is your best tool. Remember, offense is the best defense. So make sure you do preventative measures, stuff like that. And so I actually have a question for you guys just to prepare, right? Because I like to know a lot of different things. But oh wow, first commercial. Look at you getting a commercial. You should feel special. So I would like some feedback from you guys. Um, just because all of these are topics that I would kind of like to know about. And if you guys have a specialty in any of this, let me know because you want to hear about some of those DIY sprays. Okay. Rose, are you in the Discord? Essential oils. Okay, so here's some things that I have been thinking about myself. If you could just take the poll. So what I'm gonna do is while you guys are taking the poll, peppermint, eucalyptus, and lavender help with their strong aromas. I did hear that. I did hear that. So again, a public service announcement. I will not be streaming next weekend, so I have to do a bit of things before I leave. So I'm hoping that you guys can help me out, talk me through some of this stuff today. One of the things I want to do is same as what we did yesterday. I'm gonna get some water in this bottle, in this jar. Remember we did the testing of the okra seeds yesterday? Today we're gonna test some of these pepper seeds to see just based off of, so and here's my theory. With the pepper seeds, more are going to float. The link isn't clickable and vertical. Okay, so here's what you do, Rosie. Rose, if you go to my profile, you know, in the links, when you click on the description, the Discord link is actually in my profile on my page. You should be able to click it from there if you haven't. So it is in there. Join us in Discord. We talk about a lot of things. We post a lot of pictures, and a lot of people just enjoy the gardening camaraderie and being able to chat back and forth with people, showing people what you got. So I feel like it's also a bragging space. Four Season Gardens likes to post a lot of pictures in there of all the things that she has, and I think it's amazing, as well as people show us what their garden looks like so we can get a better, clear vision of what they're working with. So if you can't click the link after the live stream, go right to my profile, and the Discord link is also there. And it's in the comment section of the actual Discord video as well. And thank you to everybody who's been in the Discord so far. So let me just see. Matter of fact, let me get ready. Let me put some water in here so that we could get with, let's see. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna put water in here. So I have some pepper seeds that I want to see. I'm thinking because the pepper seeds are so small, we'll have more that float than not, but I'm also going to do the paper towel test after I do this. But I want to be able to put some of them up. So, got water here. Does anyone believe my theory or join me in the theory that more of these will float than sink? So you know that I plant a lot of hot peppers. So I need to test the seeds. Good morning, sifting some soil and more. Mona. So I'm going to do soil test. We're going to put a lot of these hot pepper seeds right here in the water, and we're going to let them sit for and like I said, I think because they're so small, I think they're going to float anyway, no matter what it is. Because I'm not sure that this is going to work on seeds this small. Okay. And for good measure, I'm going to use my handy dandy spoon here, kind of mix it in a little bit to make sure all of the water gets on these seeds. And what I'm also going to do is, even though they're floating, I know some of them are valuable because I already started planting some in the hydroponics and they work. All right, Rose, we'll get to you. I think one of the admins just have to go in and approve your access because we don't want random strangers in there. Okay, so most are floating, but I'm gonna let it sit for, like I said, like a half an hour while I do other things. So this is the test for the pepper seeds. So I see some going down to the bottom, and we know if they sink, that means that they're good. The ones that sink, I'm just going to put them inside of a seed. You need one of those spoons. It's fancy. You can get it from Amazon. Go look for, so soaking those small seeds, viability. I didn't know. Well, like I said, I'm going to try it because I don't know if it's going to work. So I didn't, full transparency, I didn't look it up, but I do see some going down to the bottom. So I think it could possibly work. But like I said, I'm going to dry out the seeds anyway. And the ones that don't work, I'm going to use the paper towel method for some of them to plant them. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see if it works. So let me put my glove over here because I have even more hot pepper seeds to test out. What I don't understand is why some float midways. So if anybody has an explanation for that, let me know. Another thing that I have to do this morning, let me put this plate over here, is I have to harvest some lettuce this morning. Oh, thank you. All right. Thank you, Mona, for the dono. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the dono. You know what? Here's what we do, Mona, when we get donations over there. So, are those 6, 7? No. Yeah, they're in between 6, 7. So we got a few at the bottom. All right. Thank you again, Mona, for the dono. Really appreciate it. And if you guys don't know, Mona does a lot of the diamond paintings. I'm not going to say that when I go down south, I do plan on doing at least one diamond painting to see if I like it. And if I like it, I'm going to show Mona what I did. So her information is very helpful, and she has a garden as well. Let's see. All right. So, all right, let me get it together. So, number one, turn off this fireplace because it is quite hot in here right now. All right. Okay. So we turned off the fireplace. Midway floaters. How you doing, Rob? Midway floaters are just undecided. Well, it's kind of going down, but we'll see. It got 30 minutes to do what it's going to do, right? 30 minutes to do what it's going to do. And that's just it. So what I need to do is take this system down. I need to prune the tomatoes a little bit. I will be taking all the guidance possible with pruning the tomato because I'm not really sure all what I should and should not be cutting on tomato, but I do know that it needs to be pruned. I need to harvest the lettuce out of it. Um, and to harvest the lettuce, I think I'm just going to use my hands, but for the pruning, just want to make sure the visual is okay. Okay, so the pruning the tomato, I'm going to use these. For the lettuce, I'm going to use my hands. So we've done this before. You guys have seen me do this before. Let me move all my stuff. Okay, so for Cece, unplug and take her down. Move the. All right. All right. Here we go. I will take you in a little bit closer in a second. Here we go. Push you back a little bit. Bring you down a little bit. Okay, everybody can see here. Number one. Ah, she's so pretty. Oh, let me show you what I did for she, by the way. Check it out. I put a new name on her. Well, I replaced her name to something a little bit more nice, right? They said, oh, she pretty. So notice that we have tomatoes in here, and I need to harvest this lettuce. I have a crunchy lettuce in here. Let me take it out. So see the crunchy? No good. So this goes into compost. So I'm gonna put it down there, and simply I'm gonna prune lettuce first, or take the lettuce out. Uh, Sifting some soil says those are beautiful. I appreciate it. So go in and take out this lettuce. So I'll let you guys see that and chat with you guys while I do it. Sharky, hello, how are you? Everybody's saying hello. So the lettuce, this is salad bowl lettuce. So I'm just grabbing the lettuce from the bottom and taking it out. It's not coming out very easy though, tell you that. Maybe need to watch what I'm doing. She's pretty. Okay, let's see. Probably should be watching what I'm doing as well. So, and then if I kind of switch her around to the back part, that's where you kind of see. So the lettuce is more so in the back of her. Yes, I call this hydroponic system a she because it's named after Cece, and Cece is a she. I don't know if anybody think I might saw that question, but I'm not sure. So just pinching out all the lettuce this morning. I don't know if this bowl is gonna be big enough. All right, Chasm, have a great day. Great day. Drive safely as well. Yeah, she said, got it, Cece. There you go. So check out all of this. I guess salad is going to be on the dinner menu today because I got a lot of it. Tell you that. So one thing I didn't expect is for the salad bowl lettuce to get like this. Did not know. And I will openly admit salad bowl lettuce is not my favorite, but I eat it because I grew it. I like the romaine and the black seeded Simpson a little bit better. So if you guys have a favorite lettuce to grow, type it in the chat for me. If you have a favorite lettuce to grow. Oh, thank you for using all the emotes. I'm just gonna, there's one full plant that's like very puny. Gonna pinch her out. All right, let me just do, can I do one big pinch here? Romaine is your favorite, Butter Crunch and Little Gem. Okay. I did not realize it was this much lettuce that needed to be harvested. Black seeded Simpson, I think that's my brother's favorite. And the black seeded Simpson grows a lot and it grows fast. So I think that's what he likes about it. You change your mind to Butter Crunch. Butter Crunch is like a softer lettuce. I tell you what I'm also going to do here is I'm going to move where the lettuces are in here to give them a little bit more space. And I also think that I need to prune the roots. So let me try to pull this one out. So check out, oh, I probably need to put my, all right. So let me show y'all. And it actually makes it easier for me to trim this one. I'm going to trim the roots on this, which is why I pulled it all the way out. So check it out. Okay. See the roots on this one? Because they're going to remain in here, I'm going to trim the roots on this one a little bit. I have taken long enough to trim these roots. And I'm going to put it in this plate over here. I probably could trim more off than what I am, but I'm not. Actually, I am. All right. So check it out. I trimmed the roots on that one and I'm moving it to the corner because this is where the cucumber was to give it a little bit more space and it's not like overcrowding. So pretty much all this lettuce came from 2 pods, and I just moved the 2 pods closer to the end. So here's the lettuce harvest for the day, 2 pods. Okay, most lettuces are pretty good. I just don't like the stringy lettuce though. Tag likes butter crunch too. So because I trimmed the other root, this one could do for a little trim, not a big one. Um, I haven't trimmed the lettuce roots at all, so gonna trim this one. All right. So like I said, all this lettuce, 2 pods is where it came from. Good morning, former Chaz, everyone in chat. Good morning, Desmond. How are you? All right. So what I also want to do is go in and harvest some of these tomatoes. So check it out. 2, just the ones that are like ripe to the point where I can kind of squeeze them a little bit. I harvested, well, I don't even gonna say harvested. I ate some tomatoes yesterday, so got 2 more today. Ate 3 of them yesterday, so this plant in here is doing its job. So let me just put these on the inside. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do, and here's where I'm gonna need a little bit of guidance, is this. I haven't trimmed these tomato roots in a really long time. I lifted out the tomato plant the other day, and when I did that, well, I didn't lift it out. I tried to lift it out, but it was too big to lift out. So I'm gonna have to lift up the lid completely. I'm gonna have to lift up the lid completely and trim the roots that way. So here we go. All right, here we go. So everybody can see it. Is that an orange? I'm not sure for certain. When I bought them, it just said orange tomatoes. I have orange and red. So let me see if I can lift this up completely. So check out those roots on the tomato there. Can you see it? Put some paper towel here. And I want to kind of put it over on the paper towel and kind of trim the roots a little bit. I think that's enough, right? All right, so we trim the roots on this good tomato plant. Then I can just lock it back down in there. Let me try to get it back in there the right way. I want it to snap in. There we go. I think I got it. All right, so let me put these roots over on this tray. Okay, so here's my question, right? I think it's a pretty good question. Cece, you might have to answer this question. I'm not really sure if we have any other hydroponics heads in the chat. Let me know. How would you prune this tomato plant, or would you just leave it alone? So like, for example, I know that this one, have I picked all the tomatoes off? For the most part, I don't know. I don't want to, I'm going to start at the bottom and trim off any of the limbs that are like browning, and try not to, some of the leaves got to go because I need it for air. I need the plant to have airflow. So I'm just going in and pruning any of the leaves that have any browning, any of those branches, just to help with airflow. And I think that it's also going to make the tomato itself maybe like produce more, because then the energy won't be going into the leaves. So I'm trying to be very careful with how I trim it. Any of the leaves that have brown around the edges, I'm trimming off. None of the, so this one here, it's close to the top, but I don't want to trim my tomato off. Being very careful here. Snip this off. I don't really know how much of this I could take off and still have a extremely healthy plant, because this one is doing its job big time. Okay, can I cut off any more? All right, how we doing out there, chat? Make sure nobody's saying anything. I was told to start from the bottom, pinch off. Okay. This is crazy how wild this plant is. You're holding your breath because you think I'm gonna snip a tomato off? I'm not gonna snip a tomato off. I might snip my finger if I'm not careful. So any of the plants or leaves that have the least little bit of browning around the edges, those are the ones that I'm targeting. I mean, I don't know about how much I should be trimming, so I think I found another one. It looks like a bonsai tree. I agree. You're holding, so Cece is holding her breath. You knew it hydroponics, but you prune the bed and give the bottom airflow and leave it alone. That's what I'm trying to do. But like on the bottom parts, a lot of them have tomatoes, so I'll show you those are coming in at. So I think I got a lot of it. All right. Let me show you. Pick you up and let you see. So I think I did a good job pruning it up underneath. Question, is there a set time frame that you could pick cucumbers, or some of yours are bitter because you let them go too long? You have to look at the packet, Carol, to see how long and what size the cucumbers are supposed to be. Different cucumbers are different sizes. So see in here, I trimmed off a lot of the limbs. And so now the bottom has pretty good airflow here. And you can see here, I have more flowers coming along. Same with over here. I think I picked most of these tomatoes, so I could probably trim this off, but on the other side of it, I don't want to trim those off because I have more tomatoes coming. Same over here, I have more tomatoes coming, so I didn't trim over there at all. And then down here, you see like the little itty bitty tomatoes coming there as well. So that is what we did for this hydroponic system here. Let's see. All right. So let me go put her back. Wipe any of the stuff off of her. So we got a lettuce harvest, we harvested some tomatoes, and we pruned it. I'm gonna put her clippings inside of my little compost that I have here. And you'll notice that I have a fan up here, and it's to help with airflow. So plug her back in. Here we go. Light back down. Make sure everything is on. Okay. So we got one done. And the next thing I wanted to do was take out, lift this. The light is getting kind of close on these leaves. The next thing I wanted to do was take the flowers out of that hydroponic system. But before I do that, I'll show you guys what I've been using. I go outside every so often to, I'm using this little coffee container. Tomato and cucumber leaves are not good for compost. They get disease quickly. Thank you for saying that. So, with that being said, I'll only be using these roots in the compost, and the leaves will go in the garbage. See? Each one teach one. And all these leaves, let's see the lettuce here. Okay. All right. So, I think she just wiped all the excess water off. I don't know about y'all, but I like the white systems, but I also don't like for stuff to look dirty. Yes, nice heads up, Cece. Cece be holding it down. Okay? So, you have some at the bottom. I'm just looking at this again. And I need to research to see if the for small seeds that method works, because I'm not sure. All right. So let's take out Shelly. I actually need the pots for that. You can propagate some of those stems. I don't really want to propagate the stems. The stems of just the leaves. See another one that has dead on it, so I'm gonna just remove it. So when you say, let me come back to that. When you say I could propagate the stems, let's say I cut this leaf off. Are you saying I could stick it in water and it'll grow roots? Because I do propagate it, but I usually propagate tomato plants by the suckers for them to get the full root system. I know that tomato plants can grow roots and everything from like the various stems and suckers on it, but I didn't know that you could do it from a simple leaf. That is my question. So that was that. And I showed you guys yesterday. Let me unplug this one and bring her out. So I showed everybody yesterday this system, right? In this system, we highlighted a bit yesterday. Oh, you were asking me that question? Oh, so my answer is I don't think you can do it from a leaf. It has to be from that particular node because it has more of the plant's body structure. And so you would stick that in water. That's my answer. And if anybody else knows the answer to that, that's different from mine, let me know. All right. So here, I showed you guys yesterday, there are 3 pods in here. Yeah, the suckers. So the suckers are what will generate them. So in here is let me take off this little leaf because it's bad. Okay. So this is a coxcomb flower. See, pull you in closer so you can see it. You don't need to see me, you need to see the flower. So this is the coxcomb. I do think that it's in there too many of them, but I'm gonna leave it because I don't want to thin them out. Back here is a dwarf sunflower. Gonna leave it. And on this side, we have 3 marigolds. So here's what I want to do. I want to actually put them in some soil so that I could put different things. Do determinate tomatoes have suckers? They do have suckers, but um, I wouldn't, you can prune them. I've pruned a sucker and made a different tomato plant from it. They're just not as, in my opinion, not as productive as regular indeterminates. But that's just my experience, my opinion. You could try it as well. Cece says the flowers are looking nice. Thank you. So I've never grown a coxcomb flower before. Flowers are not my specialty, not my forte. I want to take it out of here, put it in soil, put it under the grow light. So I'm going to use the soil here. I need to get some pots, and I'm going to plant the whole pot in there, removing it. Same thing with the sunflower. Gonna put it over there with the other sunflower. Um, so yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. At least I'm gonna try to. But for now, I do need to take out these pods that have mold in them. So I showed you guys the mold yesterday. Okay. So Cece says, Ty, they do, but don't take them off because they only have set tomatoes. Exactly. That's why I don't take them off, because even if you propagate them to make new plants, they're only going to have a certain amount of tomatoes they're going to produce anyway. All right, so we took 3 holes out. I'm going to replant them. I'm going to take these 2 out and this one out. I think I'm going to put all marigolds in here because that's what works, apparently. So I need pots. And I'm going to use smaller pots, and if I have to pot them up, then that's fine. Looking for some 6-inch pots. Okay. So I have 6-inch pots here. Yeah, coxcomb is what was on the. So I have the little 6-inch pots here that I'm gonna put the sunflower in. I'm probably gonna have to up pot it again, which is fine. I don't mind. And I'm gonna see how I'm gonna get these out because I don't know exactly what the roots look like. But here we go. And I'm not giving myself a lot of space here, so let's try it this way. Your brother gave you some rooting compound and trying that to figure out what you can use according to what I have. Gotcha. All right. So 1 pot. And if you're wondering, I'm simply using soil that I already have readily available. I'm not going in to open up any extra pots. So I am going to put them in a tray of water because we know that when you take plants out of hydroponics, they need to be integrated in soil that is pretty wet. Take this tray. Not very organized this morning. They're kind of bothering me a little bit because I need space to put the tray. All right. So, all right. So we're going to put it in here. I'm going to start out with the sunflower because I know the roots aren't that big. See, check it out. Sunflower. Take the sticker off of here so I can just pull it straight out. And I'm taking this one out first. Oh, there's actually 2 of them, so I'm going to show you guys. One may make it, one may not. So check out, there are 2 of them in here. You pull the whole thing out. Very easy. Put it in here and backfill it. Just take the soil, put it down. Press it down. So I think I saw you say something about root compound. A lot of people do use it. I just don't have any. So I'm using what I have. I don't want to overspend on things for the hydroponic system. I think I spend enough at this point, to be honest with y'all. And I'm probably going to pull off the dead leaves at the bottom of it. All right, so we got 1 of them in. And while I'm at it, let me pluck off these dead leaves. And I'm going to water it in. I'm going to add water to the top. and pour it in the middle. This leaf doesn't look great. Oh, I can't even pinch that one off. I'm gonna leave that one. It's not messing with me. And water. I had a big thing of water. Here it is. So normally, y'all have seen me do this before. I would have poured water in there from the beginning. But this time, I'm gonna pour it around. And I'm gonna leave it in a bit of water, sitting in a tray for a couple hours afterwards. You heard that cinnamon is a good rooting compound? I'm gonna research that. And if it is, that is what we will be using going forward. So we got the sunflower out. The next thing to get out is the coxcomb. I don't even know what the roots look. So yeah, on these flowers, the roots don't look half bad, right? They're not so thick that I gotta like be pulling on them and stuff like that. So for me, that's a plus. Kanisha is saying cinnamon in all of your soil off the rip. Oh wow, I didn't know that either. So it's definitely certain that something that I gotta research. Okay, so the roots aren't that deep on this. Let me take this sticker off. And the hope is that they live. Okay, check it out. CC, you still over there holding your breath? All right, so I could pretty much pull this one out. Little to no maneuvering on the, so some of the root ripped off, but that's okay. I looked up what the coxcomb should look like. They're very pretty. They're like cut flowers. So hopefully this works. Get it in a little deeper. Pollinate that like button. That's right. Thank you for that. I want to pack the soil down really good around this one because I think it's going to be the most sensitive. Put some more soil around that sponge. Pack it down real good. Thank you, CC, for dropping in the Discord link. Okay. All right, so we got 2 plants in here. I'm gonna pour water on that one after I do the other marigold. Here's what I want to know, CC. Do you ever put your sponges that have algae or whatever on it inside your compost? Yes, a good tea too. Okay. Do you ever put your sponges that you're not using inside of your, like when they're no longer good, do you put them inside your compost? Or anybody that does hydroponics, you ever put any of those sponges inside your compost? I don't know how fast it doesn't break down. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know how fast they would break down, so that's why I was asking. All right, so the last plant that I want to grab out of here has quite, actually, I need a bigger container for this one. I'm not even gonna play myself. Let me put this back. And I'll show y'all why I need a bigger container in a second. Do I even have a bigger container? I do. So for the marigold, you found some in your soil years later. Okay, good to know. Put this back. Water all over my floor. It's okay. All right. So, all right. So that was bad. Anyway, so I'll show y'all while when I pull out the marigold, you'll see why I'm using the bigger container because the root system is much, much larger. So I want to give it more space, more soil based on the root structure. All right. So here we go. So check out this. These are the marigold roots. So check it out. I'm not going to cut the roots. Gonna leave it. Take the tape off. Hopefully this comes straight out of these sponges here. Now Ty says, now I have to go looking for sponges in your soil. How many years do you think it takes to break down these sponges in the soil? I mean, if you found them years later, how many years do you think it takes to break down? Okay, so let's try to lift this out of the basket. I'm gonna be a little bit more gentle with this one. A little bit more gentle with this one. Trying to priorate the roots because I want most of the roots to come with this marigold. You don't think they do? Yours has been over 2 years? That's interesting. Where's this getting stuck at? Okay, over here is where it's getting stuck. So I'm pretty much playing with these roots, healthy roots, that's right. So, and that is why I say hydroponics is the cheat codes because you get some really healthy roots out here. Where is it getting stuck? Over here now. So I'm taking my time with this one just because it is a flower. I know that the brassica can take it, but I want to make sure that the flowers can take it too. So I'm being a little bit more gentle than I would normally be, detangling these roots. It's taking more time than I would like. And then I'm going to let you guys go for the day and I will finish up probably off camera because there's a lot of things that I have to do before, here we go. It's coming off before I go on vacation. All right. Kind of tired of, all right. That's enough roots. I'm not going to rip it, but we're about to kind of rip it a little bit, wiggling it out. So some roots were sacrificed, but for the most, we got most of them. On this. All right. So what I'm going to say for the day is that we learned a lot about pest pressure, pest control, what to do for it, right? We talked a lot about it. I showed you guys um, me pruning and harvesting today. I'll probably harvest more. Thank you, Cece, for dropping in those channels. So Cece is going to drop in the channels for the moderators on my streams. So make sure you check them out. Cece drops content every day. Shelly goes live fairly often. My brother is a gamer, so he streams a lot. He won't be streaming um, not too much next week because he also is going on vacation. So let's make sure we support everybody. If you have not joined the Discord and you would like to interact with us outside of streaming time, please do that. Just trying to clean this up a little bit so I can put it over there. Gonna fill the bottom with water and bottom water here after I clean out this tray, of course. And yeah, so make sure you do everything. Um, Make sure you do your research as well. If you have questions, like I said, put it in the Discord. And everybody have this weekend will be, I have a video coming out today. I have a video coming out tomorrow and hopefully Thursday as well. So again, a PSA for the day. I will not be streaming next weekend. I will put a reminder on my community page. I'll probably drop a video of me finishing up some of this stuff to the members. Thank you. Um, okay, I'll check it out to see why it's not doing Shelly and Fortune. Thank you, Cece. So yeah, make sure you stay in tune with the content. I love all the comments. I try to reply to all the comments for the most part. So do go in and reply to the videos and everything like that. I hope everybody has a great week on purpose. And I'll see you guys, or I'll chat with some of you in Discord and in comments and various different people's live streams. So everybody have a great day on purpose. Again, thank you to the mods and thank you to everybody who pretty much hung out there with me. And on your way out, if you did not hit the like button on the way in, make sure you go in and hit the like button on the way out. You're a good teacher. I like show and tell. It helps me learn. Enjoy the conversation in chat. Thank you so much. That's my art. I really do appreciate it. All right, y'all. Have a happy Sunday. Enjoy your week. And for those of you that are, getting ready for Snowmageddon like me, enjoy your week. Stay safe, stay warm. All right. Peace out, everybody.